Welcome back to my channel, All Old Rare Coins. If you love discovering hidden treasures, you're in the right place. Today, we're revealing some coins that could be worth way more than you think. Stick around to find out. New here? Like, subscribe, and let's dive in. We've got something truly special lined up for you. If you're into rare coins, or if you just enjoy the thrill of finding hidden treasures, then you're going to want to pay close attention to today's video. We're going to dive deep into the fascinating world of the 1965 US Liberty $quarter coin. At first glance, it might seem like just another quarter, but trust me, this coin holds a story, and a value, that will absolutely blow your mind. Stick with us as we explore everything that makes the 1965 Liberty Quarter a rare and highly valuable find. Now, let's start by talking a little bit about the history of the Liberty Quarter, specifically the 1965 version. By 1965, the United States was going through some significant changes, especially in terms of its currency. The year 1965 marked the end of the use of silver in most U.S. coinage, which was a huge shift in the history of American money. Due to rising silver prices, the U.S. government decided to stop using silver in coins like the quarter, half dollar, and dime. As a result, the 1965 Liberty Quarter was made of a copper-nickel-clad composition rather than the silver content that older quarters had contained. Now, why does this matter? Well, as you can imagine, the change in the composition made the 1965 quarter stand out in terms of its historical significance. It marked a turning point in the way coins were made, and it was the start of a new era in American currency. Even though the 1965 quarter wasn't made from silver, it still holds an important place in the hearts of collectors and numismatists today. But that's not all. The story of the 1965 quarter gets even more interesting when we dive into the world of rare minting errors and what sets certain coins apart from the rest. Here's the real kicker: the value of the 1965 US Liberty Quarter doesn't just lie in its historical significance, but in its rarity and condition. You see, like many coins produced in large quantities, the majority of 1965 quarters that you come across will have been used in circulation over the years. These coins often show signs of wear, scratches, discoloration, and the kind of damage that happens when a coin is tossed around in wallets, pockets, and vending machines. But here's where things get really exciting. If you happen to find a 1965 quarter in mint condition, or even better, one with a rare minting error, you could be sitting on a very valuable coin. One of the most important things that can dramatically increase the value of any coin is its condition. A 1965 quarter that's been well preserved, with sharp details, no scratches, and no signs of circulation, is considered a gem in the coin collecting world. These pristine coins are much harder to come by, and that's why they are so highly sought after. If you have one of these coins tucked away in your collection, it's time to take a closer look because it might be worth more than you think. But the true magic happens when you discover a 1965 quarter with a minting error. Minting errors are some of the most valuable coins in the world, and they can turn an ordinary coin into a rare collector's item. A minting error can take many forms. Things like double dies, off-center strikes, and die cracks can make a coin stand out as something truly unique. These mistakes are rare, and the rarer the mistake, the higher the potential value of the coin. If you happen to find a 1965 Liberty Quarter with a minting error, your coin could be worth a small fortune. Now, you're probably asking, how much could this coin really be worth? Well, hold on to your seat because this is where it gets jaw-dropping. While most 1965 quarters are worth their face value of 25 cents, a rare and well-preserved 1965 quarter, especially one with a minting error, can fetch an impressive price. And I'm not just talking about a few dollars or $100. We're talking about a potential value of $181,000. Yes, you heard that correctly, $181,000 for a single 1965 US Liberty Quarter. It's incredible to think that a coin made from a copper-nickel blend and minted in such a large quantity could be worth so much. But that's the beauty of coin collecting. It's not always about the age of the coin or its material, but about the condition, rarity, and the uniqueness that certain coins hold. If you happen to stumble upon a 1965 quarter in excellent condition, or if you discover that it has a minting error, you could be holding a coin that is worth a small fortune. So, how can you tell if your 1965 quarter might be one of these rare finds? First, check the condition. Does it look like it's been circulating for years, or is it in mint condition with no visible wear? Coins in uncirculated condition, where the details are still sharp and clear, are always more valuable. Next, inspect your quarter closely for any signs of a minting error. If the coin looks unusual, whether it's because of an off-center strike, a double die, or some other mistake during the minting process, it could be a rare find worth thousands of dollars. If you think you found a rare 1965 quarter, the next step is to have it appraised by a professional. Coin dealers or numismatic experts can help you determine whether it's a valuable collector's item and give you an accurate assessment of its worth. In conclusion, the 1965 U.S. Liberty Quarter is far more than just a piece of history. It's a coin that holds significant value in the numismatic world, especially if you can find one in excellent condition or with a minting error. Whether it's a well-preserved coin or a rare error, the 1965 quarter could be worth a staggering $181,000. So, the next time you come across one of these dimes, don't just dismiss it, take a closer look, because you might be holding onto a hidden treasure. Second rare coin, we're diving into the fascinating world of the 1972 U.S. Liberty $quarter coin. Now, most of us have seen or used these quarters countless times, but what if I told you that a 1972 quarter could be worth way more than just 25 cents? That's right, this seemingly ordinary coin holds secrets that could turn it into a small fortune. Stick around as we explore the incredible story and value of the 1972 U.S. Liberty Quarter. Trust me, you'll want to see this until the very end. Before we get into the value of this coin, let's take a quick look at its history. The 1972 U.S. Liberty Quarter was part of the ongoing series of quarters that featured the famous design created by John Flanagan in 1932. This design has become an iconic representation of American currency. On the obverse, you'll find a profile of George Washington, the first President of the United States. His portrait has graced U.S. quarters for nearly 90 years, symbolizing strength, leadership, and the founding principles of the nation. On the reverse side, the design is just as striking, featuring an eagle perched on a branch, symbolizing freedom and power. Over the years, this design has become synonymous with the quarter, and it's instantly recognizable to anyone familiar with U.S. currency. The 1972 quarter, like all quarters minted after 1932, uses this classic design, one that has stood the test of time and remains a staple in American coinage. But here's where it gets interesting. The 1972 Liberty Quarter, while part of a series that was produced in the millions, has become a coin that collectors highly seek out. You see, not every coin from this year is worth a lot of money, but certain versions of the 1972 quarter are a different story. You might be surprised to learn that what really makes the 1972 quarter valuable are the rare minting errors that occurred during its production. Minting errors can happen for a variety of reasons, whether it's a misalignment, a double die, or even a coin that wasn't struck properly. These errors are relatively rare, and when they happen, the coins can become highly valuable. One of the most sought-after variations of the 1972 quarter is the famous double die obverse variety. This particular error occurs when the die used to strike the coin has a misalignment, causing the image to be duplicated on the coin. When this happens, it creates a unique look where the details of the design appear doubled, making the coin much more distinctive than a regular quarter. The 1972 double die obverse quarter is one of the most famous and highly valued error coins, and it can be worth significantly more than a typical 1972 quarter. But how much more, you ask? Well, that's the real question. While most 1972 quarters are still valued at their face value of 25 cents, the ones with minting errors can fetch astonishing prices. The 1972 double die obverse quarter is known to reach values that go well beyond what most people would expect from a quarter. If you find one of these coins in good condition, it could be worth $140,000. Yes, you read that right, $140,000 for a single coin. That's the kind of price tag that makes coin collectors around the world go wild. So, how can you tell if your 1972 quarter is worth such an incredible amount of money? Well, first things first, you'll need to carefully inspect your coin. The easiest way to identify the double die obverse error is by closely examining George Washington's face and the lettering on the coin. If you notice that the details appear to be doubled, like Washington's eye, the hair, or the word Liberty looking blurry or overlapping, that's a strong indication that you might be looking at a rare minting error. Keep in mind that this error is usually only noticeable with the naked eye or under magnification, so it's worth taking a closer look with a loupe or magnifying glass. Additionally, the condition of the coin is also very important. Coins that are in mint or near mint condition, where the details are sharp and the coin shows little to no signs of wear, are the ones that are the most valuable. Coins that have been heavily circulated, with scratches, stains, or damage, will not be worth as much. So, if you're lucky enough to have a 1972 quarter with the double die obverse error in excellent condition, you could be sitting on a rare treasure. If you think you found one of these rare coins, the next step is to get it professionally appraised. A reputable coin dealer or numismatic expert can help you determine its authenticity and value. If you do have a rare 1972 double die obverse quarter, you'll want to make sure you're getting the best possible price for it. These coins are in high demand among collectors, so you might be able to sell it for a significant profit if you choose to do so. Now, even though the 1972 double die obverse coin is the most valuable, there are other types of minting errors from the 1972 quarter that can still make the coin worth more than face value. For example, some collectors are on the lookout for quarters that were struck on wrong planchets, or even coins with missing elements in the design. These errors are rarer, but they can still fetch higher prices on the market. In conclusion, the 1972 U.S. Liberty quarter dollar is far from just another coin. While it was minted in large quantities, it's the rare minting errors, particularly the double die obverse, that make this coin so valuable. So, if you happen to come across a 1972 quarter in your collection, don't dismiss it just because it's a modern coin. Take the time to check for any signs of a minting error, especially the double die, and you could be holding a rare treasure worth $140,000. Third expensive coin, we've got something exciting to talk about. A coin that may just be sitting in your collection or hidden in your pocket change, waiting to surprise you with its incredible value. That's right, today we're diving into the 1974 U.S. Liberty quarter dollar coin, and trust me, this isn't just any ordinary coin. While it may seem like a typical quarter, there's much more to it than meets the eye. So, stick around as we reveal why the 1974 Liberty quarter could be worth a whole lot more than you'd think. Now, let's set the stage. The 1974 U.S. Liberty quarter is part of the famous series that's been gracing American currency since 1932. The coin features the portrait of George Washington on the obverse, designed by John Flanagan. As you all know, Washington is a symbol of leadership and the founding principles of the United States. On the reverse side, we have the majestic eagle, symbolizing freedom and strength. This design has been a staple of American currency, making the quarter instantly recognizable and highly regarded. So, what makes the 1974 Liberty quarter stand out from the countless other quarters that were minted in that year? Well, the truth is, most 1,974 quarters you come across are worth exactly 25 cents, face value. But there's a small fraction of these coins that are incredibly rare and highly sought after by collectors. What sets these coins apart is something you probably wouldn't expect: minting errors. That's right, like so many rare coins, the 1974 quarter's value can skyrocket because of a mistake that happened during its production. One of the most sought-after variations of the 1974 Liberty quarter is the famous double die obverse error. This error occurs when the coin's die, what's used to strike the image onto the coin, becomes misaligned. This misalignment results in doubling of the design on the coin, which means you'll see features like Washington's eye, his hair, and even the lettering Liberty appear doubled. This unique error is highly prized in the coin collecting world, as it's a sign of an actual mistake that occurred during the minting process. But don't let the word error fool you. It's a mistake that can make certain 1974 quarters worth a whole lot of money. Now, I know what you're thinking. How much could a coin like this really be worth? Well, the answer might surprise you. While most 1974 quarters are worth just a quarter, a 1974 quarter with the double die obverse error in pristine condition can fetch up to $110,000. Yes, you read that right, $110,000 for a single coin. That's a staggering amount of money for a coin that was originally worth just 25 cents. If you've ever wondered how something as small and seemingly ordinary as a quarter could be worth so much, the answer lies in its rarity and the unique features that make it stand out. Minting errors are among the most valuable collectibles in the coin world because they are so rare and often represent a one-of-a-kind piece. The 1974 double die obverse quarter is one of those rare gems, and collectors are constantly on the lookout for it. So, how can you spot a 1974 quarter that might be worth a fortune? The key is to closely examine the coin for signs of doubling. Take a good look at Washington's portrait and the inscriptions on the coin. If you notice any blurriness or overlapping of the design, especially around the words Liberty or the date 1974, that's a telltale sign that you might have a double die obverse coin on your hands. It's important to note that this error is most noticeable on the obverse, front, of the coin, so focus on the details around Washington's portrait and the text. Another factor to consider when determining the value of a 1974 quarter is the condition of the coin. Coins in mint or near mint condition, with sharp and clear details, are far more valuable than those that have been worn down by circulation. A coin with scratches, discoloration, or any other damage will typically be worth less. The more pristine the coin, the higher its potential value. So, if you find a 1974 double die obverse quarter that's been carefully preserved, you might have a rare treasure that could sell for a significant amount of money. If you believe you found one of these rare 1974 quarters, it's essential to get it professionally appraised. A certified numismatist or coin dealer can help you authenticate the coin and determine its exact value. They'll be able to tell you whether the coin has the double die obverse error, and if so, you'll be in for a treat. With a piece like this in your collection, you could be holding onto a rare asset that will continue to appreciate in value over time, but minting errors aren't the only thing to look for when it comes to the 1974 quarter. There are other variations that could also be worth more than face value, like those with unusual strikes or off-center prints. While these errors might not fetch the same high price as the double die obverse variety, they can still command a premium among collectors. The truth is, coin collecting is all about the hunt for hidden treasures, and sometimes those treasures are right under our noses. You might have a 1974 quarter sitting in a jar or tucked away in your coin collection that's worth far more than you thought. Whether it's the result of a minting error or just an exceptionally well-preserved coin, the value of a 1974 Liberty quarter can skyrocket depending on its condition and rarity. In conclusion, while the 1974 U.S. Liberty quarter might seem like a simple coin at first glance, it holds the potential for tremendous value. The 1974 double die obverse variety, with its distinct doubling on the design, is one of the most highly sought-after error coins in the world. If you happen to come across one in excellent condition, it could be worth $110,000. So, before you write off any old quarters as just pocket change, take a closer look. You might be holding onto a rare and valuable coin that could change your life. Now, we're taking a deep dive into a coin that you might have overlooked before, but trust me, this coin could be worth far more than its face value. Today, we're talking about the 1979 U.S. Liberty $quarter coin, a seemingly ordinary coin that holds the potential for an extraordinary payout. If you've ever wondered how some coins can be worth tens of thousands of dollars, stay tuned as we reveal just how much this 1979 quarter could fetch on the market. Let's start with a little background on the coin itself. The 1979 U.S. Liberty Quarter features the well-known design that's been a fixture of American coinage since 1932. The obverse side of the coin shows a portrait of George Washington, the first President of the United States. His image has been a symbol of American strength and leadership for decades, making this coin instantly recognizable to anyone who's ever held U.S. currency. On the reverse side, we have the classic eagle, perched proudly on a branch, representing freedom and strength. Now, as many of you know, most 1979 quarters are pretty standard and worth, well, just a quarter. However, this particular coin has something unique that makes it highly sought after in the world of collectors. What makes the 1979 quarter stand out are the rare errors that happened during its production. These minting errors are what can make a coin worth far more than its face value, and in some cases, they can push the price into the tens of thousands, or even hundreds of thousands, of dollars. One of the most valuable and exciting types of errors that collectors look for is the double die variety. This error occurs when a coin is struck more than once by the die, causing the design to appear doubled. In the case of the 1979 quarter, this means that some of the design elements, like the word Liberty and the date, will be doubled, creating a coin that looks distinctly different from the typical 1979 quarter. The doubling effect is noticeable to the naked eye, making it an easy error to spot if you know what you're looking for. If you happen to come across a 1979 quarter with this double die error, it's considered a rare and valuable find. The more pronounced the doubling, the more valuable the coin becomes. The reason these coins are so desirable to collectors is because they represent a unique mistake made during the minting process. Minting errors are highly prized in the world of numismatics because they are so rare, and a coin that was produced with an error like this is considered to be a true treasure. But the value of the 1979 double die quarter isn't just about the error itself. The condition of the coin plays a huge role in determining its worth. A coin that's in excellent or mint condition, with sharp details and no wear or damage, will always be more valuable than one that has been heavily circulated. The more pristine the coin, the higher its market value. So if you have a 1979 quarter with the double die error and it's in great shape, you could be holding onto something truly special. So, what is this coin worth? As mentioned earlier, most 1979 quarters are worth only 25 cents. But if you happen to find one with the double die error and it's in near mint condition, you could be looking at a price tag that will make your jaw drop. Are you ready for this? A 1979 double die Liberty quarter can be worth $150,000. Yes, you heard that right, $150,000 for a single quarter. That's a lot of money for a coin that was originally meant to be worth just 25 cents. Imagine finding that coin hidden in your pocket change or in a collection of old coins passed down through the years. It's the kind of discovery that could change your life, and that's why coin collectors all over the world are constantly on the lookout for these rare and valuable pieces. If you're lucky enough to have one of these quarters in your possession, you might want to get it professionally appraised by a numismatist to confirm its authenticity and value. Now, finding a 1979 double die quarter isn't easy. Minting errors don't happen all the time, and when they do, they can be quite subtle. However, if you're a coin collector or just someone who enjoys the thrill of the hunt, it's definitely worth checking through your collection or any spare change you have lying around. A coin like this can make a huge difference in your collection, and if you're lucky enough to find one, you'll have a piece of American history, and potentially a small fortune, right in the palm of your hand. If you think you found a 1979 quarter with a double die error, there are a few things you can do to verify it. The first step is to closely inspect the coin under a magnifying glass. Look carefully at the areas where the design is struck, especially the word Liberty and the date, 1979. If the design appears to be doubled, then you might just have a valuable coin on your hands. It's also important to get the coin authenticated by a professional to ensure you're not dealing with a counterfeit or a coin that's been altered in some way. In conclusion, the 1979 U.S. Liberty $quarter coin is far more than just pocket change. While most of these coins are worth only 25 cents, a rare double-die error coin from 1979 could be worth a staggering $150,000. If you're lucky enough to find one of these rare gems, you could have a small fortune on your hands. So, the next time you're going through your change or sifting through your coin collection, take a moment to check for any signs of a double-die error. You never know, you might just have a priceless treasure in your midst. Next coin, we're diving into a coin that you may have missed in your collection or even passed over in your change, yet it has the potential to be worth a small fortune. I'm talking about the 1996 US Liberty $quarter coin, and trust me, this seemingly ordinary coin has a story that could make your jaw drop. Stick around as we explore its fascinating history, its unique features, and the reasons why this coin could be worth far more than its face value. First, let's set the stage and take a look at the 1996 Liberty Quarter. The quarter, as many of you know, features the iconic portrait of George Washington on the obverse side, designed by John Flanagan. Since 1932, Washington's image has been a symbol of the United States and its founding principles. The reverse side of the quarter depicts an eagle, an emblem of freedom, power, and resilience. So, what makes the 1996 version of this classic coin stand out? What's the big deal about this particular quarter? Well, for starters, 1996 was a significant year for the US Mint. The coin was released during a time when the country was undergoing economic changes and the government was actively producing currency to support the growing economy. While most of the 1996 quarters were produced in large numbers and distributed widely, the true value of this coin lies in the rarity of certain variations that were produced during the minting process. Now, let's talk about the key factors that can make the 1996 Liberty Quarter truly valuable. One of the most common reasons a coin like this could increase in worth is because of minting errors. Errors that occur during production can make a coin much rarer than its counterparts, and this is where collectors start to get excited. Some of the 1996 quarters were struck with slight imperfections that have made them highly sought after in the numismatic community. For example, some of these coins were struck with off-center designs or misaligned dies, meaning the images on the coin aren't perfectly centered or aligned as they should be. These errors make the coin visually distinct from other quarters, and they can be worth much more because they are considered to be rare varieties. An off-center 1996 quarter, especially one in good condition, could fetch a premium because it's a one-of-a-kind piece that wasn't meant to be released, but that's not all. Some 1996 quarters feature another rare error: double strikes. This occurs when the coin is struck multiple times by the minting press, resulting in a coin with two or more impressions of the design. These double-strike coins are especially rare, and they tend to attract serious collectors who are eager to get their hands on something unique. When you find a 1996 quarter with a noticeable double strike, it's an instant ticket to potential riches, but let's not forget about another important factor: the coin's condition. The value of any rare coin depends not just on its rarity, but also on its state of preservation. A 1996 Liberty quarter in excellent condition, free from scratches, wear, or damage, is always more valuable than a coin that's been heavily circulated. A coin with sharp, clear details and no visible imperfections will fetch a much higher price, especially if it's a rare variety like the off-center or double-strike versions. So, how much is the 1996 Liberty quarter worth? Well, you may be surprised by the number I'm about to tell you. A 1996 quarter with a minting error, in near-mint condition, can be worth up to $80,000. Yes, you heard that right, $80,000 for a single quarter. That's an incredible amount of money for a coin that you might not have given much thought to before. A small coin like this could turn out to be a true treasure, and if you have one in your collection, you might be holding on to something that could change your life. If you're thinking that's unbelievable, you're not alone. Most people don't realize that coins from the 1990s, especially ones with errors, can be worth that much. But the truth is, the coin collecting world is full of surprises. A small flaw in the minting process can make a coin rare and valuable, especially when it's one that was produced in large quantities but still has those unique, standout characteristics. Now, how do you know if your 1996 quarter is one of the valuable ones? Start by closely inspecting the coin. Look for any signs of misalignment in the design, especially around Washington's portrait or the eagle on the reverse. Are the inscriptions like "Liberty" or "In God We Trust" shifted or doubled? If so, you might be looking at a coin with a minting error. It's a good idea to use a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe to get a closer look at the details, and don't forget about the overall condition of the coin. If it looks like it's been kept in pristine condition, perhaps in a protective holder or a coin album, then you could have a winner on your hands. If it's still shiny, with crisp details, and no visible wear from circulation, the value could be even higher. Remember, the better the condition, the more money it's likely to bring in. If you believe you found a rare 1996 quarter with a minting error or in perfect condition, the next step is to have it professionally appraised by a numismatist. A reputable coin dealer or grading service will be able to authenticate the coin, confirm its rarity, and give you an accurate estimate of its value. Once authenticated, your 1996 Liberty quarter could be worth a significant amount of money, making it a prized possession in the world of coin collecting. In conclusion, while the 1996 US Liberty $quarter coin might seem like just another coin at first glance, it's actually one that could hold a great deal of value. Whether it's due to a minting error or simply because it's in exceptional condition, this quarter could be worth up to $80,000. So, the next time you come across a 1996 quarter, take a closer look. You might just have a rare gem on your hands. Last unique coin, we're taking a closer look at a particular coin from the US Mint that you might have overlooked before, but this piece of history could be worth a small fortune. Yes, we're talking about the 1980 US Liberty $quarter coin. You may have one of these sitting in your collection or even in your spare change, and it could be worth a lot more than you think. Stick with me, and let's dive into what makes this coin so valuable. The 1980 Liberty quarter is often viewed as just another regular quarter, but it actually has a unique set of qualities that could make it extremely valuable for collectors. For those of you familiar with US coinage, you know that the design of the quarter hasn't changed much over the years. On the obverse side, we have the iconic portrait of George Washington, as designed by John Flanagan. This timeless image of Washington has been on the quarter since 1932, and it's instantly recognizable to anyone who's held US currency. On the reverse side of the coin, we have the majestic eagle, wings spread, perched proudly. This design symbolizes American freedom, strength, and the resilience of the nation. But what makes the 1980 Liberty quarter different from the others in circulation? For most people, the 1980 quarter is just a coin from a bygone year, something you'd use for your morning coffee or maybe collect with a group of quarters from different years. However, for coin collectors, there are certain factors about the 1980 quarter that set it apart, and some of those factors have everything to do with how much it could potentially be worth today. Let's start by talking about the concept of minting errors. In the world of numismatics, minting errors are a huge deal. A minting error occurs when something goes wrong during the coin production process, whether it's a problem with the die, the alignment, or any other kind of mistake. These errors can make a coin rare and highly desirable, and as a result, can cause the coin's value to skyrocket. One of the main errors that can be found on the 1980 quarter is what's known as a double strike or misaligned die. This happens when the coin is struck more than once by the press or struck with a die that's out of alignment. The result is a coin that shows multiple images or a design that looks slightly shifted. These errors are often easy to spot with a magnifying glass and are considered rare finds among collectors. The reason why these types of errors can be so valuable is that they are anomalies, mistakes that were made during production, and that makes them unique. A regular 1980 quarter, without any errors, is just worth face value. But a double strike or misaligned die could increase the coin's value dramatically. Collectors value these rare and unusual coins because they represent a piece of history, a coin that wasn't supposed to exist, but did. So, how much can these rare 1980 quarters with errors be worth? Let's get to the exciting part, the value. A typical 1980 quarter, in average circulated condition, is worth only 25 cents. However, if you happen to find a 1980 quarter with a double strike or misaligned die, and it's in great condition, that coin could be worth upwards of $60,000. Yes, that's right, $60,000. It's hard to believe, but a single 1980 Liberty quarter could be worth a sum that most people would never imagine for a simple coin. Now, you might be wondering, how do you know if you have one of these rare coins in your possession? First, closely examine your quarter under a magnifying glass. Look for signs of misalignment or double strikes, especially around the edges of the coin or the central design elements like Washington's portrait or the eagle. In some cases, the lettering might appear doubled, or the images could be slightly out of place. If you notice anything unusual, it could be worth having it professionally examined and graded by a numismatist to confirm whether it's a rare variety. The condition of the coin is another huge factor in determining its value. Coins that are well preserved and have sharp, crisp details will always be more valuable than those that have been heavily circulated or damaged. If your 1980 quarter has been kept in pristine condition, especially if it's been stored carefully in a protective case, the value could be even higher. Coin collectors and investors are always on the lookout for coins that have been well preserved because these tend to fetch higher prices at auction or through private sales. Another point to consider is the demand for this specific coin. The world of coin collecting is constantly evolving, with different coins becoming more desirable at different times. If the 1980 Liberty quarter with minting errors continues to gain recognition and appreciation among collectors, it could become even more valuable as time goes on. Now, let's take a step back and think about how incredible it would be to discover a coin like this in your collection. Imagine going through your old quarters, not expecting anything extraordinary, and finding a 1980 quarter with a minting error, one that's worth tens of thousands of dollars. That's the dream for every coin collector, and it's exactly why so many people continue to search through rolls of coins, hoping to uncover a rare gem. Conclusion: while the 1980 U.S. Liberty quarter may seem like just another coin at first glance, it has the potential to be worth a significant amount of money if it has the right characteristics. Whether it's a rare minting error, such as a double strike or misaligned die, or simply in exceptional condition, this quarter could be worth as much as $60,000. So, the next time you're sifting through your spare change or digging through your coin collection, be sure to give the 1980 quarter a second look. You might just have a hidden treasure in your hands. Thank you so much for watching today's video. If you enjoyed learning about the 1980 Liberty quarter and want to see more hidden treasures in the world of coin collecting, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. That way, you won't miss any of our upcoming videos where we explore more valuable coins that could be hiding in your collection. Keep hunting, and happy collecting!